taken a little while, but this semester we did manage over the course of close to a month recruit and train a number of observers from our cohort of LAs, of learning assistants, who are undergraduates who we can trust and are responsible. And then they have made several dozen, somewhere between 50 and 100 observations over the last 3 or 4 weeks, including dual observations. And we are now trying to go through that data and make some sense out of it and see what we've learned, and then also how we're training the students and how to understand the tool and understand the information it's giving us.
That's great. So in our institution, we have the UConn agents, the Undergraduate Classroom Observation Network. And we've been very excited by the ability to spend about 3 to 4 hours in training them and then doing a few touch-ups. And now we're getting 88 to 95% inter-rater reliability. So we're very excited about that.
Yes.
One thing to think about is what you're going to do with that data. We've been able to have several hundred classes observed, and we have data. We're really seeing that even an individual class has to be observed multiple times, because an instructor will actually use different methods, different instructional approaches for different times. So we have one class that's been observed every single time, that instructor, for 10 weeks for our whole quarter. And we've been able to characterize, about 90% of her classes as being very student-centered, and then kind of 8% of her classes as getting a few Socratic lectures now and again. So it's been very interesting to see those kinds of patterns. But it is interesting to note that the data that we've collected so far has had the greatest value from the perspective of a chair or a co-chair in charge of instruction as they're thinking about teaching assignments. And the data by itself has some value, of course, in giving you a good baseline of what's happening in a department or in a specific course or series, but you need some additional measures, shared finals, pre-post learning gains, those types of measures to really drive home the point that getting students more involved is making a difference and improvement in their outcomes. We have situations where the same course is being taught by 4 to 6 instructors. So having that variation of instruction, having that shared final, having those shared pre-posts, and then having those shared pre-posts survive across quarters so that other instructors use those same tools allows us to then bring all that data together and make some sense out of it. It isn't always flattering, the things that you find out. It doesn't always make an instructor feel happy about their own outcomes, but we're using it to drive some good discussions, some good understanding, and trying to pair up people to think about how they might teach different parts of the course in different approaches and the kinds of things that have worked for some of their peers and things that have not worked for some of their peers, so they can develop a learning community in a sense and improve their overall outcomes.